Well, I sing for the band AninoKo, and I co-run Aklasan Records and Aklasan Fest, and I founded it in 2014, and I am based in San Francisco, California.
I play guitar and do vocals and do beats sometimes in Silakbo.
I play bass, and I also sometimes hit pads on a phone that sound like beats in Silakbo.
So I'm from the Philippines. I immigrated here in '93, and my first experience music wise with punk was at a concert at Quezon City Memorial Park, which is in Quezon City. Um, and I saw three bands: Philippine Violators, Woods, and Kabawang ng Kamatayan, and it felt dangerous. It felt um, welcoming, but it also didn't feel welcoming. But it felt like you wanted to be there because you had to prove yourself that you could be there.
When you first hear punk, at least for me anyway, I was like, oh, if I like put my mind and my heart into this, I could do what they're doing. Like one of the first punk songs I got into when I was younger, it was Black Flag. It's a song called Fix Me, Fix My Head, Fix Me Please, I don't want to be dead. Like that's so juvenile looking back on it, but that's also like, I got into this when I was like 11 or 12, and that's just what I'm feeling, you know. I don't feel my parents understand me. I definitely don't think teachers understand me. I don't think kids around me understand me. So that's what that captures. I hope those are the lyrics. I haven't listened to the song in a long time.
Um, I actually don't think it appeals to Filipinos. Most Filipinos tend to like melodic things and tend to like singing, tend to like dancey things. Punk is, for the most part, a music of anger, a music of discord, a music sometimes of chaos, even if controlled chaos. So most Filipinos don't get into it, but there are Filipinos that don't feel the same way as everybody else, and they have issues, and they have anger, and they've suffered through something, and they want to express that suffering, or they want to express their experience, and so they find it through us. I mean, we talked about imperialism, and even before I knew what imperialism was, or colonization was, or colonial mentality, it was just something that you're just kind of ingrained with. Like when you're a little kid and you're born, and you're like, let's go to Clark Air Base. Like, why do we have an air base here with Americans? That's weird. And they have guns and stuff. Well, that's kind of weird. Like, so, and colonization, like colonial mentality, people would always tell you, like, oh, to be white is better, or to be less Filipino looking is better, or mukha kang chimay is what they used to say. That you look like a maid, which is so racist, because you look like other Filipinos. So that was always something that was there, and it just came out in our lyrics naturally.
We are anti-fascist. We're also vegan. We're also straight edge. Two lifestyles that for us relate to punk directly. A lot of anti-imperialist themes, anti-colonial themes, but also the fact, I brought it up earlier that it was a way to deal with the dread of the pandemic and living like in this current time. So a lot of reconciling that stuff with the psychology of being a colonized person.
In every band that I've in, I've written at least more than half of our set in Tagalog. So all those themes would come out, whether in personal political views or it's just straight up, just like this organization's been targeted or these workers have been targeted, and we write about it. So it's just kind of natural for us to do that. And then we joined orgs, or I joined orgs that were doing the work of organizing people around those issues. So it all made sense. So, Mabuhay Gardens was a restaurant. It was in North Beach, run by Nessa Kino. And I think it was just a place that people saw as a place to have live music. By chance, this Filipino guy had a restaurant. These punk bands couldn't play anywhere because you couldn't play huge stadiums, you couldn't play professional clubs. So he just played this restaurant. But Stiff is a community center. It's a community theater. It has programs for kids, for the elderly, for the community. It held community meetings. It's a part of the fabric of San Francisco's cultural landscape. And for me, that venue holds a lot of significance because Aklasan Fest being the only Filipino punk festival of its type in America has to be in a Filipino venue. The money generated from that has to go to a Filipino organization and institution. That it means a lot to me.
It's the first like Filipino American like theater space, right? Like it, and that's just the coolest thing.
Especially it being like the SOMA in a notably Filipino area.
And like a lot of Class on Fests have been there like for a reason, right? Like we like going to all sorts of different kinds of shows, but like this is us. This is like what we're representing. This is our community. What I would read a lot is that like a lot of the people who killed under Duterte's drug war when he was president, a lot of them were punks because they're like street dudes, and they do drugs, or they might even sell drugs, not because they want to flood the community with drugs. They're trying to survive and they're trying to do whatever they can to make money and eat.
I think that because of the way things are right now, the way things have been for a long time, which is Philippines has been in a state controlled by imperialists and bureaucrat capitalists and feudalists. I think more people, when they realize that, they would find that punk is one of the most proper voices to express that anger at those things.
Like 9 times out of 10, if not maybe every single waking minute, someone's listening to music in their AirPods when they're walking through the streets. So getting to their level by making media that is accessible, such as music, it kind of makes it easier to streamline like someone hearing what the conditions of the people are, or hearing that a fascist is coming to the city of San Francisco. To me, it's the most accessible way to put something like that on someone's palate.
Mm-hmm. Organizing, activism, whatever you want to call it, being involved in your local community and resisting things like white supremacy, imperialism, fascism. To us, that's the natural outcome and outgrowth of us being punks.
The challenge of any activist, of any person, is to make another person care about what's not in front of them. And that's what I feel like punk does. It makes you care about other people because it tells some plight and stories of other people. Like, I didn't know anything about politics. I didn't go to college or anything. I didn't know anything about isms until I went to punk shows and I saw pamphlets laid out at Gilman of like what people are doing in El Salvador, what people are doing to Tibet and stuff like that. I saw it. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? And then I'd read these zines that would talk about all these politics, and then I learned through that. And yeah, that's why I want more Filipinos into it, because it's fun too. You don't gotta be anything. You gotta dress any way. Just show up, man, and have a good time.
If you're a young Filipino artist, use your art and use your skill set, even if it's not art, it could be anything, to voice how you feel, voice your passion, or get involved with organizing, I'd say. Like, we really push that as a band. Like, if you want to fight the fascist, you have to organize, or you have to get involved in fighting back.
Don't be afraid to put yourself out there and make mistakes. That's hard to say to young people because it's hard, it's like, you don't want to be embarrassed, you don't want to do this and that. But I would say that's the first thing, is don't be afraid to make mistakes. Integrate in whatever way you can into your community, whether that's Filipinos, whether that's local stuff in your neighborhood. When you do that, it's kind of like when you create something like a song or whatever, and then someone hears that song and they're like, oh, that's what I've been feeling. I know I'm not alone. That's the same thing with getting involved in your local community. Capitalism in the society we live in tries to isolate us and does a pretty good job of making us feel isolated. But then, you meet people, then you realize, oh, I'm actually not alone.
Hey guys, Scott here. Decided to cook you up some vegan adobo. Just joking, that's Rachel. And I know it's usually her who does these reflections, but it's me this time. I grew up with punk as well as hip-hop music really shaping my views and identity. I remember when I moved to San Francisco, I thought it was the coolest thing ever that there was a whole Filipino-run punk festival. And that punk festival was at a Filipino-run theater space. Like, wow, you really do see Filipinos everywhere. As cool as it is, on the flip side, you have to wonder, why do you? Every day, thousands of Filipinos have to leave their home. They sacrifice so much for them and their families, just so they can have a decent life. But should we really have to leave home in the first place? When I listen to the music these artists make, to me, they express the pain as well as the resistance of our people. If music can help you process that pain, if it can help you feel joy, or if music can be a starting point for anyone to fight for justice, then to me, keep at it. Keep writing your songs, keep jumping around, and keep being a punk.
Do push-ups and eat more vegetables. That's definitely what I want to say to young people. Just take care of yourselves, man. Stop eating so many hot Cheetos or whatever. Takis are better anyway.
Yeah, Takis are better.
Hey, Takis are vegan too, so
yeah, Takis
we
are
do
vegan.
that.
Eat more bitter melon.
Yeah, don't eat so many Takis either. That's so bad.
I'm gonna look at the camera now. Eat bitter melon and do push-ups.
Yeah.